So here we are at my first proper civvy cyclocross race this season, and I am gridded right at the back because it is a league that I'm not affiliated with, so it's the Central Cyclocross League. So yeah, starting at the back of the women's field here and just trying to find some space to work my way through. Not a fantastic start, as you can see really, but it does get a bit better. Quite a fast one, and this woman on the right hand side you can see sprinting up out the saddle, she was the eventual winner. If I had known that and if I had known how strong she was, I would have stuck to her will. But yeah, in typical cross fashion, it is a fast, furious start straight into some pretty twisty bits right by the pits here, getting chopped, and then there's me just chopping right back, getting into that corner first if I can. And because I am good at the back, I'm just trying to just make up as many spaces as I can early on, just going out as flipping hard as I could. And this section coming up is like a bit of a wooded, well, just a bit of a rooty section basically. They've highlighted it on the ground there. But it wasn't too bad, not really. It was pretty good. The ground was decent too, to be fair. It held up really well. And our race was after the Open Senior as well, so it had been quite heavily ridden. But yeah, this bit I'm showing you is like the full first lap, just so you can see what the course looks like as well, and just how hard everyone's going basically. And sort of overtakes I'm having to do and things like that. But yeah, I wasn't really that self-aware during this whole race, like where I was, because of being like gridded at the back. It's kind of hard to tell where you are. But all I was really focused on was riding my best race and just seeing how I was getting on, and just picking off people as and when I could. So people like this one, just trying to get around them because they're obviously going a bit slower than me. This bit was really good for trying to get the mud off your tyres as well. It would just like fling the mud straight off, which was great. Bits I didn't like was pebbles and stuff hit my frame underneath. There's a bit of a sneaky corner, and it goes from tarmac straight back onto the grass. So there was the potential for like slipping out and stuff. This was a pretty cool corner. I quite like this bit. Again, these riders. She's putting a bit of a dig in there. I follow her will for a second, and then yeah, I just get up and around her. So I'm keeping the pressure on, like I said, just trying to make up as many spaces as I can throughout the race, and then just overtaking these riders too. This girl, I couldn't quite get her around. Oh no, maybe I could. Okay. I thought I'd stuck behind her wheel for a bit longer, but I didn't. This section here is where the pits were. It was in a really good place, and I really liked the track that went around it too. The ground is a little bit bumpy in places, but you know, it was actually a really good course. It was really flowing. It was super quick. It had a little bit of technical, which is coming up in a second, which you will see a couple of times. But yeah, it was super fast. I really enjoyed it, and all things considered, might be my first proper race of the cyclocross season. I'm pretty pleased with how things went initially, and I think that girl I said who was the leader, scrap that. I don't think she was. She just looked really good, really quick. So yeah, I followed her well. This is the more technical bit. It's like just a bit of an off camber. I went low to begin with, see that line there. But later on, I would just straight line it instead. This bit is quite a steep bit, and then an uphill finish to the finish line, which we're coming up to now. So that is one entire lap, and I was doing circa 5 and a half minute laps, more or less. This is the second lap, and I've caught up to this rider. This is who I was thinking of. I think I was on this woman's wheel for half a lap-ish, maybe. Again, around that slightly technical bit, or not really technical, but yeah. Putting a good dig here, she did, and I followed her well, and I just kept the pressure on again, like I said, and just managed to get around her. At this point, right, I don't know where I am. This is the same lap, I think second lap. So yeah, I went low again. On the next one I go high. But yeah, I didn't really know where my positioning was. I just thought the field was quite strung out at this point, and I was just kind of in no man's land. But as you can see, there's another rider on the next lap ahead of me, and I'm trying my best to catch her up. And this is one of the Team Impella women. Really good rider, Vet 40, does national series stuff. So yeah, she's a pretty handy rider, and yeah, I managed to catch up with her, and we had a bit of like to and fro-in. There was a bit of leapfrogging between the two of us. Managed to sort of fight for position with her, which was really cool. It was just good to have a bit of competition and be competitive in one of these races instead of like fighting for my life. Anywhere around in the back, getting lapped by the leaders. So yeah, that was pretty cool. Again, like I said, this team, they are primarily a cross team, and I knew she'd done the Derby, the National Series, the first round of the National Series, just before this race. Yeah. And so she put me through my paces, that's for sure. I was having to go pretty full gas, just go around this flat marker. But yeah, I was having to go pretty full gas just to catch up with her, and then to try and stay in front of her. At one point I think she does come back around to me. So yeah, Gemma Felstead, yeah, from Team Impella. Pretty strong rider, and it was really good, like I said, just to have that bit of competition with someone. Yeah, I'm sure she comes back up around me, but here I'm just trying to keep the pressure on. And also, to be fair, I was thinking in my head, whilst I was in front of her, just try and control the pace a bit as well. So instead of blowing her back doors out, trying to breathe through a straw, going full gas all the time, I was like, okay, try and slow it down a tad, just to help with a little bit of recovery and things. But yeah, here we go, right by the pits and that. She manages to get back out in front of me here, and in a straight line she's quite strong, but I stayed with her and just stuck to her wheel. And I think it was like this for half a lap or so, I think, I can't remember. But yeah, she manages to put a few little bike lengths in there, in between us there. And then yeah, this is definitely the third lap, because I saw the line she took through this bit coming up, and I was like, okay, if she's doing it, I'm doing it. And actually, it wasn't that bad. It was absolutely fine. Just got a bit more confidence in my own ability sometimes, to be fair. But yeah, here we go, going into that technical bit. So yeah, just followed a line there. It wasn't actually really that bad. And again, the ground held up pretty well as well. Going up here, she's trying quite hard though, because you can see her upper body rocking quite a bit. So she's trying to pull away from me. But I think I'm able to match her efforts and stay with her. But yeah, there we go, going through the corners, matching her pace pretty much. Just following the same sort of line that she's following as well, just to not create any more distance between us. This is a bit of a fast section that goes into a nice long sweeping right hand, and I quite like that bit. It was quite fun. And then again, this corner coming up was slightly off camber as well, but nothing too drastic. And then again, another right hander here, quite tight. Got some bike lengths back from her on that bit. And that's what I noticed between me and Gemma, was that I was able to I think I was able to corner better than she could, so I could make tighter, let me go like this, I was able to make tighter turns and make up those bike lengths that she put in between us on like longer, flatter sections. And also I think for me, somewhat because I'm not massively experienced cross really, I've only done a few races now, but I think ignorance is bliss when it comes to these sorts of things, as in I just go quite hard and just hang on and hope for the best, without necessarily knowing the complete grip limit of my tyres and things like that. So yeah, here again, going around these corners, I might be entering them a bit quicker, I'm not sure. Oh, there's a bit of a slip up just there. But I'm keeping pace with her, and it wasn't that bad. It was fairly, I wouldn't say simple, but easy. But it was like a good test. And there again, I was able to just come up on her inside just there. Where do I go here? On the inside again, then on the outside, inside, yeah, and then I just able to overtake her just there on that corner, because I just took a different line into it and was able to carry a bit more speed. Yeah, and then going around the pits again, after this next section where it goes, so where that rider's just gone through, that's first place, where after this bit, sort of took it quite steady here, just bumping over those roots, but then here, because it's long and straight, just putting the power down, just getting up out the saddle and just basically sprinting just to try and open up some gaps, or open up a gap between me and Gemma. And then this is quite a fast section just here, but also because it goes from grass to concrete back to grass, and there's a bit of mud transfer onto the concrete. It's one of those surfaces that's quite easy to slip out on, but thankfully I didn't do that. But yeah, there's first place, and to be fair, again, my own ignorance, there she just went past us there again, it's gone to another clip, but if I'd known that was first place, I would have put the boot in a bit more to try and keep up to her. But in the end, I think there was only like 7 seconds between me and her finishing. So yeah, big shout out to my new cyclocross friend here, Alexis Tonkin. This is her first cross race. She did really well, giving it a good old go, so that's good. And then here, I was catching up to these 2 back markers, and this is when I found out I was in second place. One of the marshals just shouted, I think I was shouting to them, rider left, and they just kept to their line and they wouldn't move over, and then the marshal was like, second place coming up. I was like, oh, that's me. I didn't know I was in second place, but here I just kind of squeezed past and just sprint away from them a bit. But yeah, that's pretty much the entire race then, and then one more lap to go, that's it, and then coming towards the end now. But yeah, it was really good race put on by Central. The timings were perfect. Me and my other half, both races done and dusted by, well, we were sorted by 2 o'clock, finished, which is rare. And it was really nice just to have the rest of the afternoon and just to enjoy the atmosphere, the music, get some frites from the chippy van, and just enjoy watching some of the vet racing whilst we were there too, which was really nice. Nothing felt rushed. We had loads of time between stuff. There was plenty of time to practice. Really well organised. So yeah, centrally spot on. I think one of my favourite venues and races I've done so far. But yeah, coming up to the finish line for the last time now. Second place. Yay. And then that is it. So yeah, thanks for watching. I'll put up a full video of the whole race. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments, and yeah, well, until next time, the next one will be Misterton Hall, part of the Leicestershire League. So yeah, stay tuned for that.
Let me figure it out on my own.